Bernie here from Stampin'Up, and welcome back to another card making session with me. I am super excited to be sharing this card with you this week. And what I'm going to be teaching you in this card or in this video is how to create this pot. Now you're probably thinking, well, it's a pot, surely there's a die, surely there's a stamp, and the answer to that is yes and no. What I've done is I've created this pot using 2 dies, and I'm going to show you how I did that. And that's also been stamped. So it's entirely my own design of a pot, and I just want to share that technique with you so that you can look a little bit wider than just what you have in your die sets. I'm also going to be showing you and reminding you how to work with distinctive stamps, because these are distinctive stamps. And this pot over here, we're going to do some blending. So this the bundle that I'm using is Earthen Textures. It's a brand new stamp and die bundle in the annual catalog, and I absolutely fell in love with it when I saw it. If you buy this suite, it also comes with this gorgeous wavy trim thread, which I've broken up into threads over there. And it also comes with the 2023-2025 color in dots from memory. I don't have it in front of me, so I hope I'm not wrong with that. The colors that we're going to use for this particular card is Copper Clay, Lost Lagoon, so those are 2 new colors, and a old-timer Pool Party. All right, so for this card you're going to need my standard basic 5.5 by 8 1/4 scored at 4 1/8. You can go with any color as your base. I just happen to have white, and I liked the fact that I had the white. You can of course match it up with Lost Lagoon if you want to do the background, but I'm going to stick with the basic white. And then what you're going to need to do for the background is you're going to need a piece of basic white, 3 7/8 by 5 1/4, and we're going to run that through the cut and emboss machine. And for that I use my basics embossing folder. Okay, so I found it. It was right under my nose. So for this I need plate 1. I'm going to need that piece of basic white, my basics 3D embossing folder, which can be found on the online exclusive flyer. I like to take it up to this black line, close it, and pop it down. Let's just get that under the camera. Pop it down with plate number 4, with the hinge, the closed hinge, towards the machine. All right, and I'm just going to roll it through my machine, and everything is falling. Okay, just take this off for now. We'll come back to my embossing and just release that. And now you've got a beautifully embossed full piece of paper. I'm just going to bring some protective sheet under that, and using my blending brush and Lost Lagoon, I am going to color this in. So you just pick up your ink, tap off, and then you're just going to go over as lightly. I would suggest you give it quite a bit of ink, because it does form the backdrop of this card. You can just push the ink into those, because it's quite raised. If you've got this embossing folder, you'll understand what I mean by that. So just go in between. Of course you can use any embossing folder that you have, but I just like this one, and I think I'm going to leave it there because I quite like the bits of negative space, white space. Just close that, and I will set that embossing folder brush, the blending brush, to the side. We're not going to come back to this for a while, so you can actually set that to the side. But what we are now going to use is we're going to use a piece of copper clay, plain cardstock, 3.5 by 4.5. And I'd like you to find this stamp if you've got it in your stash. And I just want to get, I'm just going to ink, I don't want the stem, so I'm literally just putting this part of the ink pad onto, sorry, that stamp onto my block, and I'm using the copper clay ink. And now I'm just going to, I just want to get this all on the camera. I'm going to ink this up, and I'm just going to position these nice stalky leaves. And I'm sort of going around in a pattern here. I'm moving the cardstock, which makes it easier. Okay, so that's pretty cool. We'll come back to using copper clay not too far away, so don't put it too far, and you can just clean off your stamp. All right, so that's that bit. Now you'll see I've got some designer series paper in the background, and what I did with that was I cut it out of the basics. I just wanted to show you. I cut it out of the basics. These are the In Colors 6x6, and they come in a variety of different shapes, but I just need a tiny bit, and I didn't have enough of that pattern, so we're going to die cut that little detail using this die over here. So you'll need to cut out 2 of those, and then we can carry on putting that together. What I did was I put my die on the copper clay piece of designer series paper so that I can get the copper clay and the white. And of course that'll look different each time, so those are going to come about over there when we put this together. So I can pop that die away, and you see what I've done? I've photostated the dies before I pulled them off so that I could see exactly which ones are missing. I find that really helpful. Okay, so let's do the stamping next. So for the stamping, we're going to stamp this pot in Lost Lagoon, and for that you'll just need some scrap. So I'm just going to grab my scrap. I just want to see if this is going to be big enough. Yes, it is. Perfect. Let's just set that to the side. And you're going to need a long block for that, and you're going to need the stamp for that. Alright, so the stamp is this one over here. Okay, so just mount that on your block. This is number H. Open up your stamp pad and get it nice and straight. And you'll need to use a bone folder or something, a teaspoon, and just push the ink away. Can you see that lighten up? And I did this the other day when I made the artistically inked stamps, and I did the same thing, because when you've got too much ink on a distinctive, it doesn't stamp clearly. So we're just going to go down there, hold it lightly, release, and then you can just clean your stamp. And we're going to pop that one away. And now we're going to do some die cutting. So I would like to die cut that. So that one's going to be cut out of that. I'm going to take another piece of scrap over here, and I'm going to die cut just a plain white out of that. And then the designer series paper that comes with the Earthen Suite has got this beautiful piece, and I'm going to die cut this big pot out of the plain white, and this little lid or top of the pot out of this dark blue. So you're going to want to cut one tall one. You're going to die cut out the blue that you did. This is going to come out of the dark blue and one plain white. Okay, so I've got this pot that I want to change the structure of, and I want to just move these things out the way because I want to demonstrate how I do that. So let's just get all of this moved out the way. Okay, and I'll bring in my my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Right, plate 1, plate 2, plate 3. You have your long pot and you have this short die. Now you need to decide how far down you want your pot to end, and I just put mine down in the middle, and I make sure I clear the top, and then with my post-it note I just want to hold it down here, and I'm actually going to turn it around so that I have that die where the end is, that's going to go into my machine first. That is really important. Putting plate number 3 on top, I'm going to roll it until it just cuts over that part of the pot, and then I'm going to take it out. So watch carefully. Oh, can you see that with the glare? I'm not sure. Let's see if I can make this move differently for you. I hope that's better because these plates are shining. So I'm bringing it in, bringing it in, bringing it in, and going back. Okay, and let's check if I've managed to go far enough. And there we go. Oops, I didn't show you in the camera. There we go. That piece is now released. I don't need that. I can now lift this off, and I now have created my own pot. Okay, so now that I've done all the die cutting, I can put all my dies back, and I like to just make sure that they are all back in place before I pack my things away, and I'm happy that that's all there, so I can take all of this away. Alright, so let's do some stamping on this pot that we have just created. I'm going to use this stamp, and I'm going to go back to my copper clay, and as you can imagine, I'm going to open it up, push the ink away, because it's a distinctive. It always helps when you work with distinctives to have a wet wipe. Inking my stamp up, and I'm sort of aiming for the top, bearing in mind I've altered the stamp, so it's going to be a bit of a hit and miss. And there we go. Alright, so that one's done, so I'm really pleased with that. And the other thing I just need to do is we need to blend up so we've got that part, and now we need to just bring in the blue blending brush as I mentioned to you from last time. So I'm using Pool Party for that, and I'm just going to lift up some Pool Party. I am just tapping my brush. I want to also get that sort of spattled design to it, and now I'm coming darker on the right hand side, and I'm going up and down with my brush, so a little bit darker on the bottom, darker on the top, keeping this negative space. So I'm just rubbing, I'm not really blending, but I'm just rubbing that ink into the space, into the right hand, into the cardstock. And I'm going to leave it at that. I like what I've done there. All right, let's assemble this beautiful card. Okay, moving all things potentially dangerous out the way, aka glue and paper. So I think we've got all our bits there. I need my base. Okay, so we will work with this. I need my silicone craft sheet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to glue one of these guys at the bottom left of that blank space there. And to do that, I'm just going to put some glue onto my craft sheet, and I'm just taking a scrap. We'll come back to using the rest of that. I'm picking that up and I'm just scraping that over and lifting that up and putting that in place. And the same for this. You're just going to pick it up, just scrape it there and put it approximately over there. Okay, now we're going to put in our big pot. So we'll just do the same, bring in a little bit of glue and put that there. You want some of those leaves that we've just stamped to be showing. So just place that in position. This little guy that we die cut out of the blue, he fits on top of that pot. So I'm just going to put a little bit there, and that's going on top. So this is the one that we've just been blending, and that also gets glued down. Okay, and you want this to be, actually this needs to come down. I usually put this one in last. Let's just lift this up. I usually put this one in last, so I should just stick with what I usually do. Okay, pop this in position. About over there is good. Now we can tuck this in under there. Cool. And finally, this guy, we're going to put on some dimensionals. And I'm just going to grab my edge of my dimensionals with my glue scissor. And just going to release, release that paper. Pop that over the two. Like that. Okay, excellent, making good progress. Now we're going to do the ribbon, and for the ribbon you're just going to, well, for the thread, you're just going to cut yourself. I'm just looking for my scissor. You'll probably cut about this much. You won't need more than that, and you're going to just pull these threads out. And what you'll see, let me just get this done, is you'll have this little bit left. So put that down, bring these guys together in the middle, open them up, get them nice and wild. You can shift the lengths if you want, and then bring this and tie it in the middle. It's that simple. I've got so much glue on my fingers that it's making me sticky. Okay, there we go. And you can do it a second time if you want. I usually do, just because it's better. Okay, so we've got these guys. Now we need a glue dot. Just pick that up, with your glue dot. Stick that in the middle. And now using your scissors, you're just going to trim back what you don't need. Over here. As long or as short as you want that. And I might just trim these guys at an angle. And I definitely will be fluffing these out. I'm just getting some, just move that out the way. It's going to cause issues. Okay, so just open these threads up, get some more texture going, as wild or as controlled as you want that to be. We now need to just add some bling, so I'm bringing in these dots, these in color dots. Sorry, moving everything. I love the fact that they've brought them in 3 different sizes. That's pretty cool now. So I'm just going to pop one there. One about over here, and the baby can go at the bottom. All right. We're almost there. The last bit we need to do, and the reason I haven't done the sentiment yet is because it's going to go over there, is we just need to stick this on. Now you can use glue, but bear in mind, because it is just looking for my other mat, because it is embossed, you may find it difficult, so you can use tear tape or Stampin' Seal, which is what I'm going to be using, just so that I know it's going to get down. And I'm just hoping this is not sticking onto my card. Okay, move that out the way. Adhere this onto my base, nice and straight. I have on this one, I've just glued it down now, so I haven't done it, but on this one I've actually roughed up those edges. You can certainly do that. We've got one bit of stamping to do, and that's to say that with gratitude or thank you. So I'm just going to bring that back, and I might just make that a thank you for this time. So I'm going to go, let's just check if that's going to be too, no, I'm happy. Let's do the copper clay. So stamping. And you're going to fussy cut this. So that's going to be fussy cut. Let's clean my stamp. So when I fussy cut something, I normally just choose one angle, one side, and then I go from there. So I might keep that one because I realized I didn't cut the angle on that. So to make it interesting, I'm just going to take it at the mitre like that. Glue that on. Of course, you can put dimensionals on if you want. And card base. And we are done. Again, you could put more a stronger adhesive onto the back of that embossed layer if you want, but there you go, we're done. So beautiful. I love it. I love the earthiness. I love the color combination. I love everything about this card. So I hope you have fun. If you love my card make try this again. If you love my cards and are inspired by them and you're enjoying my YouTube channel, please go and actually subscribe to my newsletter, because there you will get a lot of tips and techniques that I don't necessarily share on my YouTube, and you are going to always get exclusive bits and pieces of information and projects that I definitely don't share on social media. So click the subscription button down below and you will receive a free tutorial that I will send to you when you subscribe. And thank you to all of you that have subscribed to my newsletter. I do appreciate your support. So that's me done in my craft room today. So remember, until we meet again, to stamp, eat, sleep, repeat.